We got Don Hayduk here from the health department, and he's going to answer some questions about the COVID vaccine that we have coming up. And I think a couple of questions about COVID in general. Kind of goes back to our first question. And the question is, when do you think each group will begin being vaccinated, or when do you expect a majority of people to be vaccinated?
Well,
so can you give like a kind of brief timeline for each of the 1A, 2, or 1A, 1B, 1C, 2?
Right, and I kind of alluded to that in the first question. We are already vaccinating phase 1A groups and some of 1B right now. Not only the health department, but Henry Ford Allegiance Hospital, Center for Family Health, the major pharmacy chains, but also some local chains as well are also helping. So right now, we are getting ready to finish up 1A groups. And so we're probably looking at a timeline of the end of February, maybe beginning of March, where phase 1A will be completed in Jackson County. While that is going on, we are doing some of those phase 1 groups, such as starting the over 65 seniors, along with the educators and the teachers. And I might add that it's Henry Ford Allegiance Hospital that are vaccinating our educators. But we're also continuing on with police, fire, the critical utilities of electrical, water, and wastewater, and as well as the corrections staff. And those groups should be getting completed sometime in the next month and a half with their second doses. Then we can move on to the other critical infrastructure workers, such as food, grocery workers, agricultural workers, transportation, and some other utilities. Now, the key here is it's all dependent upon vaccine supply. We can only vaccinate with the amount of vaccine that we have. We get a supply in of vaccine every week. We use up that vaccine, and then we wait for more vaccine. And it comes in on a weekly basis to us, to the hospital, to the pharmacies, and as it comes in, we're vaccinating. Just to give you an example, the seniors, the senior group, the over 65, in Jackson County, that's about 29,000 people, okay, that qualify in that group. To date, we've actually provided first doses to about 9,000 of those 29,000 between Henry Ford and us and others. We're going to continue on with that pace, but it takes time, and that's really just the first doses. So that's the other key thing is these are 2-dose vaccines. You don't get your second dose until 3 or 4 weeks after the first dose, depending on which vaccine you receive. So if you think about it, it's double the effort and extends the timeline out longer. That's what we're kind of up against. Now the phase 1C, which we haven't started yet, and as a reminder, phase 1C are those people aged 16 to 64 that have underlying medical conditions, then other remaining essential personnel and critical infrastructure workers. We are not planning to be able to start that group until sometime in March, possibly April, depending on vaccine supply. And then phase 2, which is everybody else that isn't covered by those first 3 phases of 1A, 1B, and 1C. That's basically going to start sometime in the spring, early summer. Again, everything's dependent upon vaccine supply.
Thank you so much.